Okay, so in this video we're going to show you how to build a program registration, or what we call an event, inside of the system. Remembering that program registrations we use for registering entrance into a program, and that is where there are specific time slots and we are collecting money, or we are collecting money. So if we want to do either of those things, we want a list of people who are attending, or we want to allocate people into specific time slots, we use the program registration system in the back of the website. Program registration system is called ME Calendar. It's actually an events registration system, but for our purposes we use it for all of our program registrations. Program registrations are different to form building because form building doesn't collect money and doesn't care about time sessions or the number of people that are attending and days of the week. So to start off, we come to ME Calendar and we go to All Events, which will show you all events that are currently or that have been made since we started the system. We've run 40 different programs through the system, and if you look at the Heart Senior Academy as an example, this is a program which is on sale now. We have 3 registrations to it. And likewise, if you look at the Metro Park one, there are 9 registrations for the February program. It tells you when the program starts and when the program ends. It collects all of this information from what we build it in. A key fact that is different in ME Calendar is that it is not edited with Elementor and never should be. We don't use the Elementor builder for ME Calendar because it actually causes conflicts and it will stop the page from formatting correctly. So in this space and this space only, when you are dealing with events, you use the Edit tab. You'll notice there's no Edit with Elementor option here. It does later on show up at the top here, but please ignore it. Otherwise, it does mess with the formatting of text that you put in. So, excuse me. As always, we go into the edit option of our test event, which I've already configured. I cloned the Senior Academy here to actually do this, just as a dummy. You'll notice there are 0 registrations here. This information, the formatting of it, again, here's the option to turn it into Elementor. We do want to avoid this. This is what we call the Gutenberg Builder. It is a different way of entering information. Hopefully at some point they'll make it more Elementor friendly, but this doesn't like to work with Elementor. So we have to enter text in these formatted blocks. You can still bold it, you can still put it in points, you can still do the normal things that you need to do, and you just write as per usual. Nothing particularly complex about it. Do not put anything into this area that says insert script to head. This is for code and code only. Occasionally people do that and wonder why their text doesn't show up. It's because it's in the wrong place. When you open this page, usually this is blank and you have to click on the little plus that will come up to create text. So this area should always be blank. The layout of the page is simple. The text content or the event content is on the left. The options are on the right. The image that is shown for any given event when we look at the listing of an event is under event, and it's called a feature image. You'll be slightly familiar with this from previous issues of videos around pages, but a feature image will always be the image that is shown on screen when someone is looking at the program you're building. In ME Calendar, we have a whole range of options. We have to do things like setting the start date of the program, setting the end date of the program. What time is it? Are we showing the time of the program? Was it an all-day event? Do you want to hide the time, which is the start time, or do you want to hide the end time? Does the event repeat? And then there are masses of options on days that you can make it repeat. You can pick specific days, or you can pick a particular day of the year, a month, a week. There are a multitude of ways of doing recurring. It's very, very similar to a recurring meeting invite in your Outlook calendar. If you are doing, we mostly do custom days. If you're doing repeating sequences, it is important to remember that the first event, so the first day of your program, which in this case we'll say is the 1st of March, should end on the 1st of March as well. It is a peculiarity to the system, but that is because your repeating days will be on the 7th of March in this case. You can type directly into these. From 6:30 to 8:30, we'll add that one. and then we'll go 14th of March and 14th of March and add that one. You can make them book all as one occurrence, or you can allow people to choose. We generally leave one occurrence because we don't let people pick the first week, the second week, or just the first or third week type thing. We book them as a block. And you'll see the date, start, and start time here. This is how we do a sequenced event. Event data we don't need to worry about, nor do we need to worry about hourly schedule. Under location information, we always set that to the National Hockey Centre, or as some of our newer programs at Metro Park in Silverdale. The reason we do this is because it allows us to see much more information when we are looking at the listing of the program, and when your members are looking to book, it provides a wee map next to the event. So if we look at the block 1 of Hockey Without Limits here, it should show you a little map which you can click on when you're looking at it on your phone. This was a poor choice because it's not that program. Let's look at this one. This is what happens when an option hasn't been set. This is not ideal. When you set this option, it will show a map down here. And in this map, the attendees will be able to click on it, and it will take them straight to the venue that they're after. It is important to remember that 80% of our web traffic comes from mobile phones. We know that from the data we collect, so do think about that when you're putting it in. So always set it to the venue that it's at, and that'll make sure the map shows up correct. This one says don't show the map in the single page, but once we uncheck it, it actually will. You'll notice I'm moving through these without hitting save. We can do this because this information stores before we hit the save button, but it stores in the browser. Until you hit save draft or publish, it does not commit to the database that structures the whole website. So if I was to navigate off this page, I'll lose any of the settings I've got right now. In links, if there was a further information page or you wanted a more info button to show up, you can put a link in here, but these are actually blank. This is placeholder, what we call placeholder text. These are blank because we are going to put all of our information up here, so they don't need to look anywhere else. It is important to remember the least clicks possible to get all the information you need will get you a higher rate of conversion when it comes to sale. The organizer, so the main event organizer, and who any secondary event organizers are, what this dictates is who gets the notification when someone registers. It's as simple as that. We then have cost. What does the program cost? And this field here actually has no relationship to money other than it's what shows up in this field here. So I could put $6,000 and then still make the program registrations $50. It is just a disconnected number that shows up there. And typically we show the highest price cost to avoid people looking for a program that costs $10, but you can't actually buy it for $10 because of add-ons or what have you. Generally speaking, the Commerce Commission